It's your boy Cartier Cody, aka the world's waviest dad, man. We live today with Country Fan Mail in Best Coast Vintage. Let's go.
What's up, everybody?
What's going on, y'all? It's your man, Fat.
How's it going, everybody? This is Jordan Paul, and you're tapped into podcast.
Straight back to the Country Fan Mail podcast.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Clutadon, Country Fan Mail Podcast. We back with another episode. As y'all see, we are on the set. We are on the set live in studio with the big homie, the man. And trying to tell you, it's so much I can say about this dude right now. But we're gonna get into this interview. What's going on, Cartier Cody, aka the Wavy Dad? What's good, G?
Good to be with you guys, man. Happy to have y'all in my spot, man.
Already, man. It's beautiful to be here, man. Like it's been really dope seeing you work, seeing you do your thing. You know what I'm saying? The store is open. So if y'all don't already know, man, go ahead and shout out your store, man. So Let everybody know where they can find
We in Best Coast Vintage Co., 2016 Del Paso Boulevard here in North Sacramento, California, in the heart of the art district, man. Is the spot.
Make sure that y'all pull up. And before we get further, before we continue, we are not the only people in here. We have the amazing EP, our executive producer behind the ones and twos, Miss Pisces, back there doing that thing. I'm so proud of her. Thank you so much. And shout out to the city. This is the first stop on the Mento tour. You already know we are going around, we hitting it. So thank you for everybody who has tapped in. Thank you for everybody that subscribed, like, share stuff, not share stuff, not subscribe, dislike it, whatever you want to do. Thank you, because you're talking about us. But anyways, let's get into it, man. First question, man. I gotta ask you, what was the first song you listened to when you woke up this morning?
Ooh, the first song I listened to when I woke up this morning. I pretty much listen to almost the same song every day, and it's 7 days a week by Nipsey Hussle.
Okay.
Yeah, that's almost every day my get up and go song. You know what I mean? That I really listen to, because I might, like I'm driving and some shit might be playing, but
for sure,
the song that I like intentively listen to, I come in here and open up, and the first song I usually play is 7 days a week.
Man, I usually ask for explanation, but honestly, that's explanation enough. I mean, like literally the epitome of the hustle, the grind, getting up, never making excuses, just always going, you know what I'm saying? So tell me about that inspiration, you know what I'm saying, that song, or even that Nipsey had on.
Well, I mean, he says 7 days a week, 7 different freaks. I got tired of fucking hoes, so I just smoke and count this cheese. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, it's kind of just keeping your priorities in line on what's important, and it's like you can do the same thing over and over again, but you can always get the same results type mentality. So when I listen to that song, just what he's talking about, it's like every day you got to wake up and you got to grind. Like it's like that. Every day's a new day, and you only got so much time.
Yeah.
So that's why I try to maximize everything that I do, and just try to, like, even on the bad days, just make it happen, Because
them bad days be there.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? They try to pop up.
For sure. I think the bad days are necessary, though.
For sure. Tell me about that. Like, what do you mean?
Because it's like if you never have bad days, you never have the appreciation for the things that are there. If you've never like had that rough day where you lost everything, or you lost something that was important to you, then when you look forward, you have a different, like appreciation for whatever it may be. It's applicable anywhere, but
for sure,
it's that type of thinking.
Already, man. And, I asked for the deeper explanation because I feel like I already knew the answer to an extent, because listening to your music, you talk about so much and about where you came from, how it started, the fact that shit was not easy. You know what I'm saying? You went through things. You talk about you was going through struggles 12, 13 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Like something about, I think it was, what's the name of the song? I'm trying to make sure that I remember it. It was Price Double.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you were talking about, being 13, catching charges, Tell me kind of about that time in your life and like what that actually looked like.
All right, listen. If y'all tired of having all that drama in your interviews, asking all those stupid questions, not even taking the chance to get to know you, come interview with Country Fan Mail.
I told my mom I was a bad kid, and she's like, "You weren't a bad kid. You were just like misguided." But at that time, I didn't have a really lot of direction in my life. Like I was living in Washington. I didn't have my pops with me, so I didn't have like that like figure in my life. Like, hey, bro, you doing shit wrong. Sure. So I was just kind of doing whatever I wanted, and I was moving. I had already dropped out of school. I dropped out super young, like sophomore year, but I was out. I'm gone. So I went and kind of just started moving around. As a kid, you know, I wasn't leaving the area I was in. I was just in Spokane, Washington, just acting a fool, like getting into drugs and crime and dumb shit like that. And then, you know, I caught a couple little cases and had to skeet skirt that, you know what I mean?
Tell me, for sure. I mean, and thank God, right? You know,
yeah, for real.
Tell me more about Spokane, man. Because I mean, I'm from the South. I don't know too much about anything that goes on in the West outside of what's on TV,
right?
And you know, you ain't gonna get really what's good. So, like,
man,
tell me about growing up in Spokane. What was that like?
I moved up there when I was like 6. You know, I was born out here. I was born in the Woo. I was born in Woodland. Shout out to Woodland. You know what I mean? And the crazy thing is, I haven't been back to the Woo since I was born. And I'm supposed to do a show out there soon, but I haven't.
Y'all pull up on the boy.
You know what I mean?
Don't fuck around. Pull up on them.
No. Yeah, it's Woodland. I mean, it just makes my boy Big Sammy is the one who I heard that from. He got a shirt that says the Woo 530 on it. And so like he from out there too. So you know what I mean? It was like that's where I was born. My mom was going to UC Davis at the time. She was in medical school, right? So she was out there, and like we lived like outside of it, and the closest hospital was that little joint. So you know what I mean? I went there. And then from point being, I moved up to Washington when I was like 6. I was living in Merced actually at the time before I moved up to Washington. So I've been like a bunch of different places. Just that's how it happened. But I went up to Washington when I was like 6. It's a lot different than California. It's a lot more like slow pace. It's like Pacific Northwest. Like it's a lot more like chill hippie shit. Spokane's cool, man. It's a lot different. Like I said, it's a lot different than California. But it was necessary for me. So check this out. This is where it gets crazy with Spokane. If my mom hadn't moved us up to Spokane, Washington, she would have never met my stepdad, who is the main influence in me pursuing music. Because I saw them build out a recording studio, complete, like record, write, like book artists and stuff, all in-house when I was like 8 years old, 9 years old. When I was at that age, it was one of those things where like I didn't realize it, but looking forward back now, I'm like, had that shit not happened, I would have never made music. My life would have went a completely different direction.
That's crazy.
So
it's crazy that those subtle influence. Well, not trying to call his influence subtle, but just that move right there could have completely changed the trajectory of your life.
100%. I'm a firm believer in that whole butterfly effect. You know, type of thinking. Like, small things make huge differences down the road. You know, and it took me like getting to a certain age to kind of learn that, but I'm glad I came to that realization when I did.
For sure.
You know, I also believe in like timing, divine timing type shit.
Yeah.
You know, so.
You know, speaking of divine timing, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm one about, you know, just honesty and just, you know, being just real. So one thing that I was listening to in a lot of your rap and something that I had heard actually in some of the other interviews that you had done, you know, you're, from my understanding, you're celebrating just over a year of sobriety.
Actually, I'm over now at this point, almost 2.5 years.
Almost 2.5 years.
Yeah, 2021. Thank you.
That's fucking dope.
2021, I quit drinking. Yeah, so no, yeah, 2.5 years. Yeah, April 4th, 2021 was my first day alcohol free. So
that's beautiful.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
So kind of tell me about, you know, tell me about the day that you stopped. Tell me about what was that moment like? What was that push to stop?
So I woke up and like every day prior to that for the last who knows how long, I had to check Instagram and delete a bunch of shit. I had to go through and delete story posts, and I was just talking crazy about people and situations that I was involved in and shit. And I like got tired of waking up embarrassed. I just got tired of being embarrassed with myself, and that was like the biggest thing. Was like I just felt like shame, you know what I mean? Like, and I knew I was at a crossroads at that point. I had recently, just right before that, I had to check myself into the hospital. You know what I mean? Because I was like, it's gonna go one of two ways. You know what I mean? And I knew that. My mom was telling me the same thing. Everybody in my life was telling me the same thing. Like, look, dude, like you have they're gonna go down two paths if you don't make the right decision. And it's like there's a right path and a wrong path. And that day I just woke up and I was like, I didn't think long term at that point. I just woke up and I was like, I'm not drinking today. And that's been my like train of thought every day for, you know, damn near 1,000 days now.
What's going on, fan makers? If you know anything about Clue to Don, you know that I love sneakers. But the one thing that I don't love is the fact that I can't wear them all at the same time. But what I can do is display them on these dope cases that Pisces got me. Now, before y'all get discouraged thinking that y'all can't trust the site, y'all can trust the site because these bad boys came from Amazon. So, you know, even if you don't like them, you can send them back. You don't got to worry about having bad customer service. Open these up for y'all. All right, what we got in here? We got some Air Max.
Music licensing reimagined.
Got some Dunks in here. Some Nike Zooms. Jordans. Jordan 2s. Jordan 1. Let us know what y'all think, man. And they're not that expensive either. They're not that expensive. We got about 12 of them. You know, good price. Check it out. Links in the bio. It was a daily reminder.
Yeah, you know, and I have constant daily reminders, you know, just by my environment and things that I see. And it's like, I'm a sponsor for people as well. So,
That's really good.
You know, it's like, I just know at this point that there's nothing that alcohol could provide me that like brings me the same value as what I'm doing.
That's deep, you know, and I asked that, you know what I'm saying, because you know, just in pure honesty, you know, that's something that I've been public about as far as on my podcast, things that I've struggled with. And I'm not in a place where I'm like, you know, sober for, you know what I'm saying, for this, for say, but at the same time, it's better than what it was.
Right.
And there was a time where I teetered back and forth, and honestly, there's honestly been times in the recent, in the recent past that I've been like, should I just completely be sober? You know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of like would my life look on the other side of that? And it's pretty scary to think like that, or to even think about what things could be on the other side, because you're just like, but it's just one drink, but it's just one beer, but it's just one.
For a lot of people, it can be just one. I'm not one of those people. You know, so there's people that can drink responsibly, and there's people that can understand that, you know, they might have a problem and they got to dial it back. I just wasn't one of those drinkers. You know, I'm an all or nothing type person. So it's like, I joke all the time. It's like, I have one drink and I'm going to be in a bathroom stall at 2:33 in the morning doing cocaine with a stranger. You know what I mean? So it's like, I know myself. I've done these things enough time to know. Yeah. And it's also like, I think for me, there was like, I had to look back and be like, I started drinking and doing drugs when I was like 13. I'm 32. So for the greater half of my life, before I got sober at 30, for the greater half of my life, I spent under the influence. I didn't even know what life was like sober. I had to really like check myself like that. Like, I don't even know what life is like sober, because I've never experienced it. I've always been like smoking weed with the homies, doing whatever. You know how the system kind of like, you go down this path and you try different things, and I just wanted to try everything. Yeah. You know, and I reached the point, I was just like, that shit not gonna work.
Do you feel like sobriety has like increased your clarity as an artist? 100%.
That was also a big driving factor behind my sobriety, was that it's like I'm like a playback footage. I'm like, I watch my own highlights. You know what I mean? It's like you hear like the dude after the game went to the locker room, started watching the playback to see where the mistake was. Like, I'm not the same type person, so I got to a point where I wasn't drinking. I was trying to quit. So I was like, I knew I had a problem. I was trying. I kept relapsing, kept relapsing. And I got to a point where I went and somebody had sent me some footage from a show that I did. And I was like, this is fucking terrible. This is horrible, dude. And people know me. So it's like, I'm looking at that, and I had to take a step back and like really look at myself through other people's eyes for a second and be like, bro, like, you look like a clown. You know what I mean? Because I just was way too deep. So it brought me this, like, after getting sober, it completely changed like the trajectory of my career, because then also people could tell that I take shit a lot more serious. Yeah. You know, and when people can tell as an artist, if people don't think you take it serious, they're not going to take you serious.
Yeah.
You got to show people straight up like, hey, bro, this is what I do. This is my life. All right, I'm blood in, blood out on this type shit. So, you know, it's like I'm fully invested in what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the, you know, that's how I try to.
There's always somebody waiting on you to fail, waiting on you to give up, for you to quit. My question is for them: why are you worried about me? What you doing? Huh? I've literally said those exact words. Literally, if you don't take yourself seriously, how do you expect anybody else to take you seriously? And, you know, I think that a lot of times that, you know, as an artist, as anybody in the content creation world, or whether it's creating music, creating videos, creating just, you know, whatever it is, if you're not getting those, you know, immediate likes, immediate follows and stuff like that, you're not going crazy. You start to get discouraged because you're just like, well, nobody's looking at me, and you start to forget that it's like, for one, why did you even start doing that in the first place?
Right.
And you know, so you really got to bring yourself back to it, and you have to remember, if you're just out there just kind of just doing things lackadaisy, you're not uploading consistently. You know, some people are like, oh, I'm an artist, but you look at their music and they haven't uploaded nothing in 4 years.
And it's all memes.
And it's like, or it's all
shitty repost videos. If you, I hate to cut you out, but if you're an artist, do not post those shitty reposts. Like, don't devolve down into posting like clips of like other people's dumb drama shit.
Just to get
please,
you, just
for the love of God, don't do that, because it devalues your brand and your artistry so much. Because when people go to your page to see your work, they're seeing a bunch of fucking nonsense.
You heard it here, and that's a big fact though. That's a huge fact, because it confuses, you know, somebody as, you know, me and Pisces every day. We're looking at different artists' posts. We're looking at different artists' Instagrams. We're scouring, trying to figure out who we can talk to, and we love to talk to anybody from going from the ground up, you know what I'm saying, well, hopefully before they get too big, right? That's what we like to talk to. And when we see somebody and it's like, okay, cool, they might be doing something, but literally you have a more recent Instagram post that's some nonsense, and you like see you go to your music page, and I mean, it's on SoundCloud, there's nothing recent. It's like you're putting your focus in the wrong area. It's essentially where it's that you're putting your focus in the completely wrong area, and I could tell and hear the change in the focus in your music and the progression of your tapes, and you know, it's going all the way to Stained Glass.
Shout out my guy Graf, man.
Man, that one right there. Yeah, shout out to the producer. Shout out to the producer and the artist. It was a beautiful pair. That's my second favorite of your other pairs.
Okay,
we'll get to that. Man, soulful. Like soulful. I literally, first time I started listening to it, I don't have to compare, but I heard like it was like an Alchemist feel, and I was just like, ooh.
Yeah, that's Graf. That's Graf on the production, man.
Yeah.
He from Buffalo.
For sure.
He has kind of that grimy, like East Coast, you know, New York feel to a lot of his stuff. And I was going through a period of my time that was like really, a period of my life that was really like, I was growing as an individual, and like that whole project's like really deep.
It is.
You know what I mean?
I mean, so tell me about the process of actually, you know what I'm saying, going through and making that album, because I mean, because my understanding, that was the first of the 3 from 2022.
I think I did 4 last year.
Okay.
Because I did Big Wavy, I did 2022, me and Graf did Stained Glass, me and Fendi, we did Designer Dope started this year. I'm trying to think what else I did last year. I was doing solo stuff. I was doing my solo stuff.
Okay.
Because I was under a label for a little bit of a time, and then I stepped away from doing that. Just because I'm one of those people, I just know it's like I gotta do my shit my way. You know what I mean? But
tell me about that paradox. Tell me about that difference between being a label artist versus an independent artist.
Well, if you're on an indie label, it's one of those things where it's like you, like off top, like full disclosure, I'm difficult to work with because I expect a standard.
For sure.
You know, so there's people that aren't up to a standard that will say I'm difficult to work with. There's people that are to a standard that will say like working with bro is a breeze, like prepared, ready to rock, professional, like, And I expect everybody that I'm moving with to be on that time
already.
So if people aren't on that, it's like I'm a big like I don't got time to waste type person. When I got sober, I realized I wasted half my life. So now I'm like, I'm already half my life behind, bro. Like I don't got time to fuck around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I have a vision of where things need to be. When I got sober, I had a 5-year plan, and it's like I'm 2.5 years into that, and I think I'm doing pretty good, you know, with where I'm at. So I'm just like my focus is that, and throughout being an indie artist, you know, versus like being on an indie label versus being fully independent is like nobody can tell me anything. You know, nobody can tell me anything. I'm gonna do what I do my way, because as an artist, that's how you should do it.
And I respect that. I definitely respect that. And you know, I was actually, you know, having a conversation with my sister last night. Actually, shout out to my sister. And we were talking about randomly. We're talking about Mariah Carey. Okay. We were talking about Mariah Carey and why she's no longer really relevant, and she didn't transition with the times. She kind of just kept talking about glitter and all this other shit that she was talking about, butterflies and whatever. So we were talking about how the fact that she had so many yes men around her that nobody was going to tell her anything. So my question for you is that being an independent artist, how do you combat not having too many yes men around you? Like, how do you make sure that you have the right people around you to be like, though you can do what you want to do, you shouldn't do that, bro?
Well, just that, if there's the people around me that are willing to speak up.
For sure.
You know, because a lot of people just want to be around because they want to be a part of something. Some people are already a part of something of their own, or they just have the mentality of like, this is the way it should be. Like, this is the right way to do it. You know, a lot of times when people are giving you criticism, it is constructive criticism. It's constructive. It's not deconstructive criticism. They're not saying like, don't do this because you suck. They're saying like, don't do this because you can do better. You know, and a lot of times people don't see it for that. So you got to be, for me, I just like people that are willing to tell me where I might have gone wrong. Yeah. You know what I mean? I respect that, because also it's like I have a different, like I have a struggle with myself with like self-awareness and making sure that like I'm clear right here. And that's a big thing too, is I'm really conscious of outside of just what people say. Yeah. I watch people. I watch how people move. I watch what people do. I watch their interactions. And I can judge based off of their interactions with other people if I want to have interactions with them.
I mean, you get a lot of opportunity to, especially, you know, the storefront, you know what I'm saying? Just, you know, I mentioned it before, you know, being able to watch you actually interact. And this is, you know, not the first time we've been here and watch you interact with people. And this is the second time actually I've actually heard you in some sort of way say no.
Oh, yeah.
To somebody. So kind of explain to me, like, how is that, you know what I'm saying, like having to, because I mean,
it's my favorite thing to do. It's my favorite thing to do, bro. So I love telling people no.
You do it so well, though. Like, I was like, you broke 2 people down and they were just like, but you were just like,
I mean, my thing is like, look, I would much rather, like, it's the whole, like, slap you with the truth. I'd rather slap you with the truth than kiss you with the lie type thing. And it's like, I come from a different background too, bro. Before, I didn't sell clothes forever. I sold drugs. So it's like I come from a different background, so where it's like if you gotta be able, right? You gotta be able to say no to people, and you have to be able to tell people no respectfully. Because if you from a certain background, a certain industry, you understand the value of even giving people respect if you disagree, or if they're out of line, or if you understand the situation. For sure. Situational awareness is like my big thing. It's like know what's going on. And it's like I said, it's not that I enjoy telling people no. It's that I enjoy being able to like clear up whatever it is. Here's why I can't do that. Because I won't ever tell people just like it's not going to happen. I'll tell you it's not going to happen. Here's why. Yeah.
Really give me that opportunity to test it out and work through those kinks, because my being shitty version was I pressed 3 t-shirts. Right. I finally got it right. And then I was like, boom, I'm a designer. Let's get it. I was ready to go. Like I was like, yep, I'm ready to take on the world. Right. And hadn't even touched the, so I had a little hand press, and then I started seeing people like I started watching shit on Instagram, and I was just like, you are way out of you.
Yeah, it's easy to get humbled. But it's good. It's a good thing to be humbled, because it's gonna make you like reassess, reevaluate. Like, damn, I spent way too much bread on these fucking labels. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
my God.
like labels add up, man. Like
That
I've
shit
done
is
clothing manufacturing and
crazy.
stuff too. So it's like, you know, I have my brands and one thing that I tell everybody, I probably told you the same thing, but like with the clothing brands is like everything small batch.
Yep.
Everything small batch. Because you're not a fashion house and because you're not a large scale clothing brand, it doesn't make sense to do anything on a mass scale. It makes way more sense to do it as more of like, this is an artistic brand.
Like
you know, everything that I do is real exclusive.
Go check out Cookie Kawaii. She's another dope artist who's positive and who likes, you know, the New Jersey club scene.
If I back it up, is it fat enough?
Right. Recently featured on the U.S. Open.
It's the next generation now.
The U.S. Open.
The U.S.
You know what I'm saying?
Open.
The big U.S. Open.
Did that just happen?
Not everybody gets it. You know what I mean? Everybody that's feeling with exclusivity, it's like when I do like, this is a one of one, but it's just because I do a lot of prototype stuff too. But even when I do runs, I'll do a dozen. You know, so that way it builds the hype around it a little bit too. But I also like, I don't ever remake. I don't do the same twice. You know what I mean? I'll move to I'll say I don't do the same twice. I might not do like, I won't do a run of like black shirts. You know what I mean? I'll do like a black shirt and a blue shirt and a green shirt and stuff like this because I just want to keep it for that design, for that, how that layout. That's what it is. Whatever I had available. No, not really. I'll select garments like for what most of what I'm doing right now is like upcycle, a lot of prototype, a lot of just trying to get it dialed in. Because at one point,
whoever can, whatever you find, whoever can fit it type, you're not.
I also give a lot of shit away too,
for sure.
You know, because my whole thing is, it's like I want people to wear it.
Yeah,
you know, and
that's more important than it is sitting on the shelf.
It's mostly why I do hats. You know what I mean? Because the whole theory behind that, and this is like real game, is because people will wear a shirt once, they'll throw it in the corner of their room, and they're not going to wear it again for another 3 weeks, maybe.
Yep.
You put on a good hat, they're going to wear that hat. It's probably 7 days a week.
That's a big fact.
Your reach and the exposure from selective merchandising is super important, because you got to be like, what's the thing that people are going to use? It doesn't make any fucking sense to put your brand name on a plastic cup. So my stepdad, big shout out my stepdad, man, FT. They're actually split now, but you know what I mean, he's still step posse. You know what I mean? So he's from North Houston, bro. So when my mom got with him when I was like 8 years old, you know, it was just like, it introduced me to a new world. You know what I mean? Because it's like I was living in like Merced, bro, and then I have, you know, I come from like a Caucasian background. You know what I mean? So when my mom married a brother, it was like I got exposed to a whole new world, bro. I had a new family. You know what I mean? And like that shit put me on a.
You were welcomed.
I was 100%, and all the people that I grew up with, they all know. You know what I mean? It's always love, and you know, that's also kind of like shifted me. You know, it put my life on a certain path just because of like my exposures and like I tell people, like I grew up with OGs, like Southern players. You know what I mean? Like real dudes. So that influenced me just in like even the way I talk and like just my mindset and certain things. So you know, it's like
so that influence, it's definitely seeing that.
It's definitely you know, I it's a big part of my life, man. For sure. You know, it's just like just growing up the way that I did. You know, it made me the person that I am, and I wouldn't change anything.
You know what I mean? Hey, so I was trying to figure out how to kind of segue into asking this question, but you know, when we were looking, doing research and stuff like that, and you know, I know you kind of bounce between Cartier Cody and the way we dad, you know what I'm saying, kind of depending on, you know, it's almost like an alter ego type of situation, because I can literally almost hear when you're rapping as one or the other type shit. So kind of give me the breakdown of those names, and then I want to also segue into the project Designer Dope Volume 2 with Fendi Pentagram.
Yeah, big shout out my guy Fendi out in ATL, man. Sorry, I got excited when you said Fendi. What was the first part of that question again?
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, kind of give me the breakdown of your names. You know, the Wavy Dad and Cartier Cody.
So Cartier Cody, the Wavy Dad came about. I think I started Wavy Dad Club in 2018, and it was before I got sober. It was like another brand I had started. I've been doing clothing brands for like, over 10 years. Like I just always knew I had to create something, so I was just like trying shit. It was terrible. But you got to start somewhere, and you got to be cringy, and you got to be shitty, and you have to go through that. Because if you don't, you're always gonna be shitty and cringy.
Always.
You don't know how to refine yourself. So I went through that process. But Cartier Cody actually came about because big shout out to the OG, man. Big shout out to my guy OG Aaron, man, because he's got a history background in the entertainment industry and stuff like that. He was MC Hammer's manager way back in the day.
Okay.
He's from the town. He's from Oakland. So me and him had linked up because I used to run a company doing cannabis packaging supplies. So that's how a lot of people know me out here, is because I used to sell everybody their empty weed bags.
Makes sense.
I helped a lot of people create these brands.
Get y'all away from those sandwich bags. Stop using sandwich bags.
Nah, bring back sandwich bags in 2024. Honestly, just put some loud in them, bro. All this gelato cross bullshit and old.
I'm about to say it don't even be gelato.
Fuck it. Oh my god.
Everything is not goddamn.
But I was working there for real. I was working there, and I was deeply addicted to this. I'm gonna say that. So I was working there at that time, and I met a bunch of cool people, and I was working on some creative stuff. We were going to Rolling Loud to go be on stage for Currency set, because my big homie OGA is tapped in with Currency from way back in the day. Yep. So they're locked in, And shout out Shout out Spitter, the whole Jet Life crew, everybody out there, man. And just working with Aaron, it was one of those things where we were in the car driving down to LA, and I had bought a pair of Cartier glasses on eBay. And I was like, boom, copped. And this was like, you think you are Cartier Cody or some shit? And I was like, that's it, bro. Because before that, I was just going by Cody Payne. I was just going by my name. Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's a cool name, but it's like, it's also like my name. You know what I mean? So I just started going by Cartier Cody like immediately after that. And then the Wavy Dad kind of came about because Wavy Dad Club was the brand, and I was like, because the brand is like shaped, it's not shaped after me, but it's like my brand, and people would see me. And then because my brand was called Wavy Dad Club, and I was always wearing wavy shit, they would just like start calling me Wavy.
Okay.
And then the Wavy Dad just kind of like, it was already my Instagram. Like as soon as I started Wavy Dad Club, I made my name the Wavy Dad. I've had that Instagram name for probably like 4 years now.
Right.
Yeah, I think I've changed it once or twice, but it's always went back. Actually, no, I haven't changed it.
What's up? That consistency is everything.
Yeah, well, branding is important, bro, and it's like I learned from working with certain people too about the importance of having your brand. Like, look at Currency with Jet Life. You know what I mean? Prime example. Like,
almost 15. Almost,
you know what I mean? You got the brand is strong, and as an artist, if your brand is not strong, when you're not making that money that you're not making as an artist, your brand is the thing that's going to carry you through. So you have to make sure you're putting that time and effort and attention into your brand, because one, you're gonna make money off your brand, especially if you do it right and it's fly. People are gonna buy the shit, right? Secondly, your brand is going to take your.
So everybody, what's going on, y'all? It's your man Fat.
How's it going, everybody? This is Jordan Paul, and you're tapped in.
Straight back to the Country Fan Mail Podcast.